What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to JD's NerdVerse. My name is JD. Welcome to my NerdVerse. We are doing a top 10 slash Tiermaker video ranking the Batman movies live action, not including Adam West is the one excluded from this list. I didn't make the list. It's just something I found on Tiermaker. Before I get started, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell, smash that subscribe button, and you'll get videos and top 10s and Pokemon videos and even other things like TV show reviews. Like I'm reviewing Kenobi here soon. So subscribe and you'll get access to all that content. You get notified when I post. Also, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter, it's at JD's NerdVerse, and Instagram is JD's_nerd_verse. So we're ranking all the live-action Batman movies. I actually kind of already did this, but I realized my camera was off tilt, and I just like this with just a smidge, and that'll be perfect. Okay. And so we're gonna rank all the Batman movies from 1 to 8. There's only 8 that have been real just Batman movies. The Dark Knight Rises and The Dark Knight, which is a shame because Ben Affleck's probably my favorite Batman. But he has not had a standalone movie, so I'm really curious to see how that plays out. But without further ado, we're going to dive into this. Number 8 on this list is the extra campy, horribly done Joel Schumacher. Now, this movie, when I say horribly done, there are worse movies out there. If you saw my Star Wars list, there's worse movies on that list than there is this movie. It's just very campy, and it really just soured the taste of Batman fans. It's not the type of Batman movie we want. It was kind of an age of types of Batman movies that we had. It was action, but it was also a little bit campy. But they just turned the campy up full board. They got a guy to play Batman who has no way, shape, or form the ability to play Batman. He does not come off as Batman. There's just nothing about him that says that's Batman to me. You had a guy who played Mr. Freeze who, in no way, shape, or form, comes off as Mr. Freeze. And Uma Thurman, same thing. It's just all around, just top to bottom, was not well done. It's very campy. It's very, I don't know the words, but like flashy when it comes to the lights and its portrayal on screen, I guess is the best way to put it. So that's a factor in this movie as well. Just a lot of things with the movie were not very well done. The characters weren't developed very well. It's still it's kind of good in a nostalgia. This is a bad movie. It's so bad you got to watch it, kind of thing. But when it comes to like actually a good quality, fun movie that I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna enjoy watching with my daughter, it's not a movie I'm gonna be doing that. So don't like it. It's not the worst movie ever. Like I said, I'll sit down and watch if it's on and I can watch it and not go. I don't go out of my way to watch it, but if it's on TV, I'm scrolling through and I find it. It's not a movie I'm not gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna enjoy the little campy nuances to it. It's just not a movie that I would say is like a staple of like what Batman movies should be. Next one is Batman. Now this will be very controversial to some people. This movie is not bad. I'm not grading this on a scale of like how bad they are. Like this is the last one on this list, so therefore it's bad. No, it is there's a mile between this one and Batman and Robin. The Batman movies that I've grown to expect and like have more action or more action-packed, better character development. I don't like Keaton's Batman. I just don't. The suit doesn't make sense. You can't even turn his head. And also, I don't like his Bruce Wayne. If you watch the movie, he's actually kind of does some pretty sketchy stuff as Bruce Wayne. He literally drugs a girl and drags her back to her house. So it's what he does, and it's not the worst movie. Like I said, Jack Nicholson's Joker is good. And Vicky Vale is well portrayed. It's not bad. Like nothing about it is overly bad. It's not like what I expect. It's not super action packed to me. It's not what I expect in a Batman movie and what I've come to expect. So as I've gotten older, this movie's gotten worse. Is the best way I put it. It was more I loved it, and it was more beloved to me when I was younger. But as I get older, it gets a little worse. The next one on this list, The Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises. If I had to rate The Dark Knight's trilogy, Batman Begins like an 8.5 to a 9. Dark Knight is a masterpiece. It's 10. I can't think about it. I don't think there's a better superhero movie out there, and I'll argue with anyone who wants to say anything with Marvel. Some Marvel things are close, but it's not better than The Dark Knight. There isn't a better villain portrayal in a comic book movie. But then you look at Dark Knight Rises, and it falls short of even Batman Begins. It's like a 7, maybe a 6.5. It's not very good. It's not good in a sense that it's supposed to be, Batman is supposed to be a detective action suspense thriller kind of thing where you have action, which you have in a lot of the good Batman movies. You have a little bit of detective work. You have a little bit of him going through some kind of mirroring thing with him, because Batman is an ultimate case management of human psychology, and you're always dealing with that. And this is one movie where he does deal with that aspect. He doesn't have to solve a mystery. He doesn't have to solve anything. He's just got to overcome, and he gets his butt whooped, and he gets put in a cave with malnutrition, and then somehow he gets stronger in that cave. I don't understand that. A lot of things about it just don't make sense. It's not a bad movie. Like I'm still can be thoroughly enjoyed. It's just not as action packed as I would like. If you watch Batman Begins and Dark Knight, then Dark Knight Rises, the level of action is like a drastic drop off. They tried to create a story, and honestly, the story they created was a secondary story compared to what they wanted to do. That's a little bit more of what the Batman is, the one with Robert Pattinson recently. It was apparently partial was supposed to be part of the movie that Nolan was supposed to write. But without the Joker, they couldn't do certain things. So, moving on to the next movie. The next movie to me is Batman Returns. Batman Returns to me is actually a very, very good movie. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite Batman movies ever. It's one of my favorite younger movies because as I'm young, I didn't quite comprehend all that was going on in the Batman. Batman Returns, I kind of understand a little bit more. Michelle Pfeiffer she is gorgeous in that outfit. I do love that outfit. It's probably why. Never mind, I'm not getting into that. But I do love Michelle Pfeiffer. I love Danny DeVito's portrayal of the Penguin. It's just a very good movie. It's very fun. It does what the first one should have done. Been a little bit more action, a little bit more of the nuances of like the goofy aspect of Batman's villains. As much as they are villains, they're kind of. It's just a drastic level of who's the expert in the room, who's the professional superhero, and who's the professional vigilante compared to who's the amateur villains here. It just does a better job of portraying what Batman deals with on a day-to-day basis when it comes to the villains he deals with. And I'm going to make this statement, and you may disagree with me. I want to know in the comment section down below what you think. Batman, to me, in any iteration of Batman, you can look at these Batman TV shows, you can look at Batman movies, you can look at Batman TV shows with Gotham. There has not been one bad, in my mind, not one bad casting of Alfred. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but the gentleman who played in Batman through Batman, Batman and Robin. I can't remember him, but he played a fantastic Alfred. Then you got Michael Caine. Then you have Jeremy Irons and Andy Serkis, and then you have I don't know the guy's name, but the guy on the show Gotham. There has not been a bad iteration of Alfred, to my knowledge. Maybe you can find one that's bad. There hasn't been a bad one. That's one that they have hit the nail on the head every stinking time. No matter what series it is, no matter which one it is, they've put out. That is one character they've hit on the head, nail on the head every time. But I do love the Batman movie. It's kind of a Christmassy movie. It kind of falls around that time of year, so it falls in there with the people out there who believe Die Hard's a Christmas movie, I guess. But Batman Returns, it's a fantastic movie. Love the movie. I enjoy the movie. Next one, Batman Forever. So this movie is the third movie I ever saw in theaters. Live action, let me rephrase that. So the live action, I had Casper, Jurassic Park, and then Batman Forever. Batman Forever. Everything about this movie I enjoyed. I really liked Val Kilmer's Batman. I thought Val Kilmer, he didn't do, he wasn't the best, but he was definitely not the worst Bruce Wayne. I think he was about, good. He was good Bruce Wayne. He was a good Batman. It's a solid, you could have every Batman movie with him in it, and he would do a solid job across the board. His portrayal of what Bruce Wayne was and his portrayal of what Batman is. So I like him. I love Jim. A lot of people don't like. I don't like Jim Carrey the person. I think he's a little crazy, but him as the actor, he really does get himself into some roles, and he really does showcase his range of what he can do with a role and take it to another level. I can't imagine another person playing the Riddler like this. I just can't imagine that. I can imagine Jim Carrey playing just about any villain in Batman and him taking that role and just doing a good job with it. And he does a great job with anything he's in, but he was this is like peak Jim Carrey, and he played a very good Riddler. I really enjoyed his Riddler. I know a lot of people don't. It's not the type of Riddler they're used to. But you get a lot of the things that Batman has to, he has to solve a mystery. He has to solve, he has to figure things out to actually succeed. And the Riddler is a great villain to do that. The other character in this, I really enjoy as well. I really like Tommy Lee Jones. He's one of my favorite actors to watch. He did a great job portraying, even though him and Jim Carrey apparently were at like each other's throats on set. His Tommy Lee Jones did not like working with him, but all in all, they still put together a fantastic performance of a duo villain, a tandem, and everything else in this movie was just good. It was lit in a way that they wanted to light. It was kind of Batman. It was dark, but also lighthearted at the same time. It kind of balanced it very well. Whereas the Batman and Robin went way over the top with the lighthearted, goofy campiness, whereas Batman had a little bit of it with more of the dark stuff with a little bit of the campiness in it. And it was just enough that it was like well balanced and well put together. And they just like cranked it up to full blow on Batman and Robin. But all in all, my fourth favorite Batman movie. It's very good. I every time it's on, I watch it. I love this movie. So number 3 is Batman Begins. So Batman Begins sets a very good stage of an origin story for Batman. It's an excellent intro. It's an origin story for Bruce Wayne. It's an origin story for Batman. It lays down the groundwork for what Bruce Wayne had to endure to want to be Batman, or want to be like a karate expert, and what he had to endure to want to be Batman, and what he had to endure when he started being Batman and overcoming those things. Really does a great job. Christopher Nolan is one of the best directors I think we've ever had, especially in this generation. I mean, saying all the time is really Steven Spielberg's probably the best, but Nolan's definitely up there because when he hits on with a movie and he gets the right nerve touched, I guess. He really gets the right nerve touched, and he really does a great job portraying a story and telling a story. And in a Batman story, I can't imagine anyone else telling the story any better. Then the next director that's about to come up, he did a great job of doing this as well. But Batman Begins, fantastic movie. The only thing I don't like about Batman Begins, it's not even like this. It's what, like, I don't like you get actors and they can't be in the sequel. I don't like that so much. It's one thing I hate about the original 4 movies is they couldn't just keep saying Batman, couldn't keep saying villains, but they kept saying Alfred for some reason. But Katie Holmes left, and you had Maggie Gyllenhaal, which, I mean, Katie Holmes has definitely fit the mold a little bit better, but Gyllenhaal acted it out better. So, next one is The Batman, or Batman, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, The Batman. I think it's called The Batman. Robert Pattinson. This one was, before it ever came out, before it was ever even started filming, it had so much scrutiny going on about it. But this film absolutely came in and just jammed on everyone. It was such a good movie. Every part of this movie was good, except for there's one part, I'm not going to get into it. It's one part to me that just was stupid. It didn't need to be in the movie. But Robert Pattinson, I hold my judgment, because initially whenever Ben Affleck was signed on to be Batman, I was a little skeptical at first, but then I saw it and I'm like, yeah, this guy, he did good. I think that's what Batman should look like and what Batman should be like, and he hit it nail on the head, did a great job. And Robert Pattinson, I held back my judgment. I'm like, I don't know, he could screw this up, but this guy can act. This guy's been in some good stuff, and lo and behold, even though he looks a little emo, he did a fantastic job portraying Batman. Now, everyone says that there's no character development with Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, I don't think there was supposed to be character development with Bruce Wayne. This is not about Bruce Wayne's year one as Batman. It's about Batman's year one as Batman. It's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be some version of year one Batman where he's just trying to figure it out and figure out what he needs to be. So it's not about what Bruce is going through, and Bruce goes through a little bit in this movie, but it wasn't about showcasing a lot of what Bruce is going through. For example, Batman Forever is showcasing what Bruce is dealing with, his inner demons. Batman, this movie, is not really showcasing that. He is struggling with the identity, like the like what his father was and what he believed about his father, and that's part of it. But it's not the majority of the movie. There might be like 10 minutes in the movie dedicated to that. The rest of it's about Batman figuring out how to be Batman, figuring out how to outsmart the Riddler, figure out the Riddler, so on and so forth. And he did a fantastic job. I had no complaints about Robert Pattinson. Batman. I think Zoe Kravitz did a very good job as Catwoman. She was very, very, very attractive as Catwoman, so she did a good job. The villains, you have Colin Farrell, who honestly, if it wasn't for them saying it was Colin Farrell as the Penguin, I would have guessed obviously Robert Dafoe, Robert Duvall. Yeah, Robert Duvall. There we go. Robert Duvall. Okay, no, William Dafoe. He's in Spider-Man. Okay. William Dafoe, and I honestly thought it looked just like him, but the makeup was fantastic, and he played a very good Riddler, or I'm sorry, Penguin. And then the last part was the villain. I can't remember the actor's name, but he played the Riddler, and he did an absolute stellar job. And this movie, just from the beginning to the end, was very well done. It was amazingly done. It's more of a film noir, like a murder mystery film noir movie, and it was so well done. The trailers for it were amazing, and that once I started seeing the trailers, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a good movie. It's a good freaking movie, and it was almost the best Batman movie. It was close. It's right underneath Dark Knight. If Dark Knight's a 10, this is a 9.9. So The Dark Knight is by far the best Batman movie. And I won't say by far. It's the best Batman movie ever. And until the Batman came out this year, it was by far the best. Now it's edging out the Batman. Dark Knight is the epitome of a superhero movie. It has a great villain. It lays the ground for what the villain is and what the villain is capable of. That is what makes a good movie. What makes a good villain is not that the villain can do this. It lays a groundwork for what the villain can be and how he becomes it very well. First scene in the movie, he's just a normal slacky like the rest of the people in the van. He's just a normal guy, and then he showcases his growth and shows that like what he can be. It's a kind of a metaphor that he threw gasoline on the money and burn it, and basically throughout the movie just keeps on gasoline on his own fire and lighting it, and just it percolates into everything in the movie. And that's his growth as a villain in one movie is fantastic. And then, as much as I don't like Christian Bale's not a bad Batman, but it's not great at anything. He's a very horrible Bruce Wayne, and he's a good Batman. It's the best way to put it. I think Bruce Wayne's way over the top. It's almost to the point of not believable. That's just me. That's just my opinion on it. I think he almost looks to build like Val Kilmer looks to build pretty well with Batman. Christian Bale kind of looks it in some ways. Sometimes he looks a little bit more toned. But Batman is supposed to be able to like squat 1,000, bench press 1,000, and squat 2,000 pounds. I don't believe that with with Christian Bale. I don't really believe it with Val Kilmer. I could believe it with Ben Affleck's version, and I definitely don't believe it with Michael Keaton's version. So that's where I view it. I view that, and I also view like he's an Olympian style body. Like he looks like an Olympian, like a Olympic gymnast. And I don't believe that from anyone other than Ben Affleck. So, but back to the story of The Dark Knight. It's just such an amazing movie. It's the best Batman movie ever made. It probably has the best villain of a Batman movie ever made. And I don't think Batman's done a bad job creating villains. Other than the Batman and Robin movie, there has not been bad villain portrayals. But the best one by far is Heath Ledger's Joker. It's not even close. Cillian Murphy and Liam Neeson in Batman Begins were fantastic. It's the way that I would see the villain being portrayed. It's amazing. And in the Batman, the one main villain, was it like Edward Nashburn or Nash or something like that? The villain the real life the real name of the Riddler in this. Fantastic portrayal of an antisocial person who does things and gets a following, and it's just very well done. So, without further ado, I'll reiterate my list. The number one best Batman movie ever made is The Dark Knight. That's not even a question in my mind. Batman, the second one, is the second one. It's very good. It's so close to Dark Knight, but it's not quite there. 3, Batman Begins. So you can see 2 out of the top 3 are from the same trilogy. 4 is Batman Forever. 5, Batman Returns. 6 is The Dark Knight Rises. 7 is Batman, and 8 is the Batman and Robin movie. That is my video. If you like this video and you like the content I'm putting out, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell. I get videos like this all the time. And also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and comment down below. What do you think? I need feedback. Feedback helps the channel grow. Comments help the algorithm. All that good jazz. So I want to appreciate everyone for watching. Thank you for stopping by JD's NerdVerse, and you have a good day. See ya.